Hey everybody, this is Chris Risley, your fiction teacher, and we're entering week 3. It's from Monday, October 9, this video, and that's my cat. She is a rescue that we found under a car when she was about the size of a teacup, and no matter how much we love her, look at her getting all stressed out. Agatha! Hi, sweetie. Can you relax and say hi to my class? Can you do it? Can you just sit? Can you stay there at all? Can you? Nope. I knew she wouldn't hang out for too long. So this week we're gonna read Miss Brill by Catherine Mansfield. We're going to read The Black Cat by Edgar Allan Poe. Many of you may have seen it. I hope that this class will give you a new pair of glasses through which to view it. And for a contemporary offering this week, we're going to read The Disneyland of Mexico by Gwen Kirby. But of course, we're looking at some neighborhood turkeys because we ran across them. And we just thought that, when else are we? You know what? Look at them. It might be me. Looks like all the animals just walk away from me. No, I love my cat, but she's still skittish. You're one of the very few people that have ever seen a picture of her. Look at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 6 turkeys. I'll just, as I give you a little bit of a preview about the week, I try not to do spoilers. I can tell you the Disneyland of Mexico is a more contemporary story, which students relate to in so many different ways. That was a deer. Did you see it? Just freaked the crud out of me. Did my face go pale? But Miss Brill is like time traveling. I want you guys to savor the descriptions. But what I'm going to explain to you right now is something really important about it. It is a lesson in itself of one of the key aspects of writing short stories. Now, raise your hands if you're interested in writing short stories. A piece of any kind of creative narrative. And I think to some degree, perhaps why we turn to narrative. One of the reasons why we turn to narrative is we want to see characters change. Let me give you an example that I hope almost everybody can relate to really quickly. And that is Luke Skywalker in Star Wars A New Hope. That's the original broadcast one, and probably the simplest, arguably one of the simplest. Next simple would be Rogue One, which I really love. But for the purposes of our discussion of a single character. Now, short stories, they concentrate primarily on a single character, and you guys probably go, wait a second, we read A Private Experience. That really was about 2 characters, so it's funny, these rules of fiction change. A writer like Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie will push the boundaries, will say, that might have been the rule that short stories followed for 100 years or more. I can change that rule. I'm going to make this one pretty much equally about 2 characters. Miss Brill, an older story, follows this sort of precept that there used to be about short stories, that they focus on a single character. And obviously the single character is Miss Brill herself. What I want you guys to notice is how she changes. And I am recording, and I needed to explain change to you, so I started talking about Luke Skywalker in A New Hope. And we very rarely ask ourselves these questions about characters at the beginning of a piece. We're just trying to kind of follow along on the story. But who is Luke Skywalker at the beginning of A New Hope? Some of you may remember, he's a whiny teenager. He doesn't want to, I don't like water farming. I'm a whiny guy. To be honest, it's been a while since I saw it. But, yeah, so he's just a whiny teenager. He wants to, I think he wants to hang out with some, like, high school friends at the malt shop or something. I mean, it's really corny. If you really listen, like, but I was going to go to, do I have to? There's just a lot of whining. And of course, who does he end up being? That's the exciting part of Star Wars, is who Luke ends up being. Trust the Force, Luke. And he pulls the trigger and boom, there's a flaw in the Death Star, and the Force allows him to make the impossible shot. And then we feel satisfied because we think, well, you know, that's over. And of course it's not. But that's a feature-length motion picture, and it's different. But just to mention his arc, and what I've just talked about is character arc. And Miss Brill has her own character arc. And really, short stories are so short that in a short story, short piece of fiction, we call a character arc the turn, to be honest. And that turn is where the character started out one way at the beginning of a short story and is suddenly a different way. Now, in Miss Brill, you can really see it. In Miss Brill, you can really spot it. So while you're reading that story, ask yourself, well, who is she? And I'll help you with the beginning. I'll try not to do spoilers for the end, but, well, ask yourself, how does she see herself? How does she see herself at the beginning? She spends a lot of time talking about this. She makes amazingly beautiful descriptions about the scene in front of her, about how important it is that all these people are there, but not just that, how important it is that she is there. And I want you to keep an eye on that as you carefully read those descriptions, because they are richly, richly important to the turn of that story. Oh, and I want to thank those of you guys that called and we got to talk one-on-one about short fiction. That was nice. I'll remind everybody my phone number is 541-250-1652 in case you want to go over some of these ideas over the phone. I'm Gen X. I use the phone. It's okay. I don't bite. I'm an okay person to talk to. So as you read short stories, as you get better at reading short stories, watch for the turn. Couple other things that we're doing this week. Students in the A contract. Oh, good grief, I have to go backwards. Hold on. It never fails that when you decide to make a video, everybody in the neighborhood needs to, I don't know, use power tools. But anyway, I'm walking toward a little free library. I passed it while I was walking up the hill. And, oh my gosh, what a power tool. Oh, this is a bummer. That's all right. And anyway, we're headed over here because they have books in it. And let's see, Terry Brooks, an amazing writer of fantasy. That's the first one that I recognize immediately. But if you don't stop at little free libraries and kind of participate in them, and what you're supposed to do with them is grab a book, read it, bring it back. Oh, Bridge to Terabithia. If you haven't read, and The Wrinkle of Time. Oh, somebody's gonna take this one here. What? No way. Yes, I am. I will replace it, or I will replace it with a different book. That's such a good book. Well, it's Sunday, and everybody's got a little bit of yard work to do. So fun. I didn't anticipate that a lot of noise would be polluting this, but oh yes, I was telling you, that's why I went over to Little Free Library. I don't want you to go to the library today. Well, you know what? I should open up this assignment. Well, as the assignment is written now, I'm asking you to go to a used bookstore. And this is for the A contracts only. I love it when folks do hit bookstores. You know, I have a video about whether or not San Francisco is a dystopia. And technically I made it for my science fiction class. But maybe I'll pop it in. It's not very long. This video is actually getting a little bit long for one of our RSI videos. Oh, look what I found. Just like the weirdest. Oh, it's a unicorn. Yay! Waiting for a home, I presume. So yeah, you'll see that assignment there about visiting a used bookstore, making a little bit of a video. If you have any challenges with that for a variety of reasons, which somehow people had. I had a lot of students from other states where they didn't have bookstores. But anyway, obviously I will listen to anything. Give me a call, 541-250-1652, and we'll talk about the stories we've read this term, and we will address any challenges that anybody might have with making a little video. Those are always really fun, and it helps students get to know one another a little better. So I like that. Let's see, I haven't said much. I mentioned the Disneyland of Mexico, but what I didn't mention, and this actually gets to the questions that we're going to be answering for this particular third RSI forum. I have a little bit of, it's like you're going to watch this, and then you're going to find an adaptation of the Black Cat. That sucks. I'm sorry. I can't help it. I can't help that it sucks. But you know what? The aesthetic dimension of fiction is something that we have to explore. And The Black Cat is a timeless classic. And what I'd like to do is show you that the CBS Mystery Radio Theater kind of wrecked it. Now, I love CBS Mystery Radio Theater, and you're going to use the instructions I'm about to give you to find it. And that's what you're going to do. It's going to be visual and audio. I'll probably try to put a screen capture in here, but this is the question. The question is, how badly does the radio version of The Black Cat suck? Which means you'll have to listen to it, or at least enough of it to, you know what, how about this? If you listen to the first 10 minutes, oh my God, Chris, it sucks so bad, I can only listen to the first 10 minutes, I'm okay. Do I want people to really listen to the whole thing and to start thinking about why they made the horrible changes that they make? Why? I know why. And I'll tell you. In Poe's The Black Cat, oh God, how everybody knows this. Okay, here, I'll try to be as vague as possible. I don't want to spoil, but there is an action that he takes. It's a turn. Boop, he goes from not this to this. Boop, there's the turn. He crosses a line that's uncrossable. That's that turn. Watch in fiction for the turn. Well, it's not really motivated in Poe's short story, because that's not what it's about. Poe's short story is exploring the psyche. He's exploring the deep psychology of freaking out and losing it and sanity. Really, he's exploring sanity and what sanity is, how it's lost, what we're doing with it. He's also exploring, drug addiction, alcoholism, more alcoholism than drug addiction, and the effects of that. And I think he's a candid writer who is writing truthfully about something that people were not writing about at the time. But if it wasn't yard tools and power tools, it'd be like this a scrub jay making noise. Anyway, I hope that you like these videos. I know they're weird, and I hope they bond us, but I hope they help you approach the material a little bit more. I need to find my train of thought here. Yes. Motivating character. Why does he do this thing? You'll notice you can't miss it. It's something that nobody should do, okay? You'll know what the turn is when you see it. There's certain lines in culture that we, in society, we just don't cross. We don't cross these lines. And he crosses it. It's obvious. He has to take some action. But for some reason, those editors at the Radio Mystery Theater thought, we need to motivate that. And for me, and I don't, you don't have to echo back to me. You could love it more. You know what? That's what I would love. Watch the whole thing and love it more than post stinky short story. Love it more and tell me why. Tell me why you love it. Now, what do we got here? But they wanted to motivate the action. They wanted to motivate that turn. What they end up doing is watering down the whole story. It's really interesting, and I think that there's a little bit of a spoiler that will happen before you go and read Poe, but you'll be so happy to get to the Poe after what CBS Radio Mystery Theater does. Now, I love CBS Radio Mystery Theater because of all the sound effects and the hokey and the fact that the actors are all the same every week. And let's say that if you were to have somebody from that would have an accent like Creole, they won't. Nobody will have any kind of accent. It's hysterical. All they have is like New York underpaid actor accent. It's so funny. I hope that you guys will enjoy this. Now I need to tell you how to get to it. I'll be pasting a link in the description area, of the forum. This video will be there. There'll be a forum. Then below this video, there'll be a link to the Radio Mystery Theater. I thought it'd be fun for you guys to do the advanced search over there. It's a little bit challenging to explain. So to start this week, you will be listening to this Radio Mystery Theater. And what I noticed was that the date of this Black Cat episode is April 1st, 1974, a long time ago. I hadn't noticed that before. I noticed that among all of the episodes, it sucks. It's no good. And I wonder if they put it on April Fool's Day to clue us in to that's a joke. Everything is weird. Anyway, so it might be an April Fool's gag, but check out all of these different Radio Mystery Theaters. It doesn't seem like that one seems much different, except that it really, I want to use the verb, it punks the original piece. It's so different. It's similar and yet it's different and certainly not as good. And we're just the reason that we're watching that is to go, oh, well, how do we tell what's a good story and what's not? And we're just beginning at this. So you don't have to know much about it here. Just to get credit for this RSI project is listen to the first 10 minutes of it, write it, just, give me kind of a broad reaction to it. I do hope that contract people will listen to the whole thing for sure. That's one of the things. You guys are the thought leaders in the class, and several of you called. It was like, Chris, you sent me a message about thought leadering. And I did. I sent a few because I think the A is important and thought leadering is important. And, be a thought leader. All right. Have a great week.